The CIA had to play a role in this? No, man. This shit. No, you know what? It's on autopilot. It's like whenever you fucking see like weird right-wing guys like blow themselves up out of nowhere, and then the FBI says, "Oh, we were aware of this person." It's like that. When you have so many of these like networks set up already, okay? Sometimes those networks are going to behave in unpredictable ways because they were set up to do the predictable thing, a right-wing insurrection, right? This is not new for Latin American countries. Okay, it's not. So they didn't have to do anything. I think this is on autopilot. If they actually had to, if they wanted to do something, they would have set up Bolsonaristas within the ranks of the federal government. They would have set up Bolsonaristas within the ranks of the federal police, which already exists. They would have beefed that up. They would have armed certain parts of the fucking. They would have armed certain parts of the Brazilian army. Like, this is not. I don't think this is a thing that happened because the CIA wanted it to happen. I think it's just like they are basically doing the predictable thing because the brain rot is like almost uncontrollable at this point. It's all WhatsApp. Who's happen all the time in Latin America, and you barely ever see Western liberal media cover the shit, barely at all, especially not condemning it like this. I mean, also, they didn't protect Bolsonaro a second time. Let's be fucking real. If you think that America has no juice left in Brazil, you're crazy. I think their bandwidth and their interests in global politics have shifted away. Literally, it's a multiple parts equation, right? I think partially they don't consider Lula to be like as big as a threat to American hegemonic power. But even if they did, I don't think that they have the bandwidth that they once had. You know what I mean? To like genuinely defend Bolsonaro in Brazil and maintain Bolsonaro in Brazil as the person in power. Yeah, Lula is a far more reliable and predictable leader too. I think so as well. Like they're going crazy over it regardless. You know what I mean? These people are fucking insane at this point, just like in America. You know what I mean? It's WhatsApp and Telegram. It's all WhatsApp. Yes. WhatsApp and Telegram is where a lot of these fucking psychos radicalize. Okay. That's where a lot of these people get the fucking psychotic ideas. That's where they organize. There's really nothing you can do about it. Like, and I don't think not everything is CIA brain rot is able to grow on. Yeah, I don't think this is the CIA. I think that it would be a cleaner operation if it was, and there would be more military involvement if it was. Now, you might speculate on whether it's not the CIA because like they don't think Lula is as big as a threat, or Lula's stability to Brazil is something that they find to be beneficial in the global global scheme. You might think that it's because they just don't have enough bandwidth, you know? They don't have enough juice anymore in Latin American countries like they once did. It could be a bunch of those things, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is CIA involvement. I think it's just like preset. Yeah. Exactly. I knew it wasn't because, look, you want to know why the American State Department wasn't involved in this? Because I know what happens when the American State Department is involved in a Latin American country's elections ahead of time. They don't come out and immediately say, we are going to abide by the results, and so should everyone else, of the election before the election is settled. This is ahead of time. You have to understand, like, some of this is organic. Some of this is free-range hogging. You know what I mean? It's Haagen-Dazs, baby. But yeah, look, in the past, when the CIA did facilitate a fucking coup, right? What did they do? Like when they did one in Venezuela, okay? They did a coup d'etat. They helped the coup d'etat happen, okay? And then they turned around and immediately recognized the Chamber of Commerce, like the head of the Chamber of Commerce, as the official president. They unironically kept, until this past week, they unironically said Juan Guaido was the official head of state in Venezuela until this past week when they decided that that's no longer the case. So like they're very open about it. Whenever they want to make or whenever they want to facilitate regime change in a country, they openly state it. It's not like they hide it. There are certain markers that you can look at, certain tells, and they did the exact opposite. They did the exact opposite with Bolsonaro leading up to the elections and immediately after the elections as well. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that they're going to help Lula all that much. I don't think they're going to help Lula, but not everything is always the CIA. Yeah, CIA helped car wash because they wanted our libs to win the PSDP party, but then the far right came in and swept them. Yeah, I think like their involvement happened during the car wash stuff, and then that was, far right does not need Jair Bolsonaro to spread its ideas. Former president was just the face of a movement that will continue operating in the machine of lies that almost re-elected him and that may give power to his successor in the future. It is a story as old as time itself. You have all matter of media that is an arm of the capital defending the interests of big business, okay? Constantly and consistently saying like that even someone who is like who was known as like a conciliatory, known as like a deal maker candidate like Lula, even he was, especially with his like anti-poverty measures, seen as seen as a threat. And once he became a threat, the media is ripping into him. And then you have a little bit of involvement, a little bit of push from our State Department to like undermine his credibility, help with this investigation. Let me up. Thank you for the 69 gifted subs, by the way. And then that it's over. Media oftentimes, even Western media that is like supposed to be liberal adjacent or whatever, will end up interviewing like just like Alberto Hitler, okay? And they're like, yeah, what do you have to say about this, Mr. Alberto Hitler? And then the Alberto Hitler guy will be like, my grandfather, he was a very good guy. He was very nice, okay? A lot of people in the woke transgender left say that he did a lot of torture. But, they were wrong, okay? It's enhanced their interrogation. Yeah, it's like... it's just a little bit of enhanced interrogation. He sounds like Gru. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Joao Baptista de Oliveira de Figueiredo was a Brazilian military leader and politician who was the 30th president of Brazil, the last of the military regime that ruled the country following the 1964 Brazilian coup d'etat. He was the chief of the Secret Service during his term as his predecessor, Ernesto Geisel, who appointed him to the presidency at the end of his own mandate. He continued the process of redemocratization that Geisel had started and sanctioned a law decreeing amnesty for all political crimes during his term. His term was marked by severe economic crisis and growing dissatisfaction with the military rule, culminating in the Diretas Ha protests of 1984, which clamored for direct elections of the presidency, the last of which had taken place 24 years prior. Ja, not Ha, Ja. Okay, I'm not very good at Brazilian accents. Can you guys stop making fun of me about my Brazilian accents? Okay, I don't want to hear it. Anyway, it's okay. You not being good is what is fun to us. I know, but I'm trying. I'm trying my best here, okay? He's business partners with Trump. Here's the two of them together. Let's go. Diretas Já was the movement where Brazil got rid of the dictatorship and got direct elections. That's what diretas means, direct. I think my accent is fine, but a lot of people in the chat are using every opportunity they can to disparage me. Anyway, so here's a couple more Here's a couple more moments from yesterday's January 6th before we move on. The terrorists invaded the Congress building and tried to force entry into the plenary of the chamber. They fucking broke through the barricades, started beating the shit out of cops, which is pretty funny. Bolsonaristas terrorists are vandalizing government buildings. Windows are being broken. One of the saddest parts about this, by the way, was the fact that like they were able to successfully break through, and then I guess like they destroyed a lot of artwork. Okay, my accent is not that bad. When you hear someone speaking Portuguese like in Brazil, it just you realize my accent is like pretty similar, I think. Maybe I'm fucking crazy, but it sounds para sempre como. Quebraram as janelas, quebraram tudo, entraram dentro da casa, quebraram tudo. According to Andre Janone's ad, Bolsonarista terrorists are carrying guns and trying to invade the federal Supreme Court. They're shooting at the security guards there. Over the past couple of months, we saw several episodes of the police forces showing lenience towards the Bolsonaristas. Now we have footage of them escorting the terrorists into governmental buildings. They're inside the federal. They went into the federal Supreme Court, destroying everything. Whilst terrorists are invading the higher powers of Brazil, police officers are taking pictures and chatting with them, which, by the way, again, ironic, because we saw the exact same thing in January 6th. We saw the exact same thing in January 6th. They filmed themselves because they're fucking entitled, and they literally had cops walk them through most of the steps where cops would literally stop and take photos with them. Okay? That doesn't get a lot of coverage in mainstream liberal media anymore, which is weird to me. You rarely ever hear cops and how they were like taking selfies and shit with the hogs at January 6th. But that happened. We watched it happen on that day, and that shit's not going away, regardless of how little you want to talk about it. Apparently, people are saying that they stole the Brazilian Constitution. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that, but okay. An AFP videographer was working on site was assaulted and robbed by Bolsonaristas. They're trying to block the Palace of Planalto ramp, possibly attempting to barricade themselves inside the building. No plans whatsoever. No food. Oh, they stole a fake. Okay. Bro, no plans whatsoever. No food. No, like nothing. Just pure, relentless rage. Okay? They're like, they are the spoiled rich kid on the block who's like, oh, I own the basketball. If you don't want to play with me anymore, if you don't want to play by my rules, I'm taking the ball and I'm leaving. Or if I can't play with these toys, nobody can. I'm breaking it. Okay? Bolsonaristas are inside of the House of Senate. Taking photos, taking videos. The terrorists are destroying everything, computers and other equipment. More images of the police officers caught watching the invasion of Congress without showing any resistance. There are other pro-coup insurrection movements happening in Rio and Sao Paulo too. Marcelo Aular is on site and just reported that the forces were able to reclaim the federal Supreme Court building. Yeah, I saw this. This is the video I watched. This is like a fucking cop. Bolsonaro supporters took a bunch of stuff from Congress people's office, including a dildo they said was a sodomy tool.
Tá com a gente, cara. Ó. Pediu pra entrar.
Like, what are you doing, man? You look like a CPA. The fuck are you doing? Big homie's just out here filming himself, dude. What the fuck is this? How? This is another, like, Derek Evans is in the Capitol moment right here, okay? Yeah, the dildo apparently, I've heard conflicting reports on the dildo, but the one I do believe is that they actually brought it and then they acted like they found it there.
Eu fui e acompanhei ele até a porta, ele falou, deixa eu só me identificar e mostrar que a gente está com vocês. A gente está do lado do povo. Acabou. Policial Federal, hiper, mega, ultra educado. Aí, ó. É mole? Será que estamos certos? Brasil!
He's saying the cop led them there. Lula made a speech or a statement on the situation. In his speech, Lula said that those responsible for the terrorist acts will be punished to the fullest extent of the law, and that he will sign a federal security intervention decree for the federal district, Brasilia. Lula criticized the military police from the federal district. I would say that there was incompetence, poor will, or bad faith of the people who take care of the security in the DF. Headline of the Brazilian newspaper, Brasilia police officers abandoned the protection barrier to purchase coconut water while protesters were invading the federal Supreme Court. Oh, surprising. Terrorists arrested for the invasion begin to arrive at the Specialized Crimes Police, and now the terrorists who were arrested for the invasion are beginning to arrive at the Specialized Crimes Police station in Brasilia. It's not shocking, I hope, for anybody that this did not, that this happened in an identical way in Brazil as it did in the United States of America, where, like, down to the fucking cops stepping out of the way or even, showing sympathy to the people. It's not surprising. It happened here. It's the same shit there. Squirrel says, events like today in Brazil just don't randomly happen. They're allowed to happen by police and intelligence services who treat these fascist mobs like tourists who can do whatever they want. These institutions need to be purged from fascist sympathizers. I agree. As noted in the Bolivia coup, the first responsibility of a left movement after taking power is to purge the police, military, intelligence institutions of fascists. These are bastions of fascist reaction waiting to pounce on any opportunity to destroy the left. Just to compare the two, they arrested and imprisoned Lula on bullshit charges. And you know what he did? He turned himself in and told his followers to stand down and wait. They didn't storm centers of power. And if they did, they would have been mass murdered. Absolutely. These disgusting, vile, MAGA fascist, Israel-loving creeps think they own the world. They could do whatever they want. They tried it in Bolivia and ended up getting their shit cooked in. Same in Venezuela and soon in Peru and Brazil as well. To highlight the point about Israel, the apartheid regime funds and trains these fascist movements the world over, including in Latin America and Brazil. It's not an accident that Bolsonaro loves waving Israel flags while Lula supports Palestine. This was less than a week after Corbyn was elected Labour leader. As I said, these institutions are bastions of fascist reaction and need to be purged. British Army could stage mutiny under Corbyn, says senior serving general. And it's always the fucking the press that hypes it up too. I think, like, the press's involvement is, here's how leftists are treated in the same place yesterday in 2016. Oh, this is demonstrations for Temer Brasilia in 2016. Just because we got about 500 meters from Congress, we suffered more than 4 hours of repression. I remember that the the police threw so many gas bombs at us that they even ran out of grenades in Brasilia. Temer surrounded the army because he had no more gas. Look at that. Yes. Marjorie Taylor Greene got copy striked. I don't care. Okay, I don't care. Who cares? Yeah. Dr. Dre copy striked Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, you guys are such fucking soy facing ass motherfuckers sometimes, I swear to God. Like, we're in the midst of trying to describe to you how, like, right-wing coups in Latin American countries happen and how police as an institution and the media is in collaboration with those who want to maintain the power of capital owners. And you're like, oh my God, but did you see that Marjorie Taylor Greene got DMCA'd by fucking Dr. Dre soy? Okay, got it. It's sick. I'm glad it happened. Fuck her. Also, I think she's having sex with Kevin McCarthy. That's my fucking take. That's a lock, okay? Mark my fucking words. You'll see. You'll see. Bolsonaro is not in the hospital, it looks like. Wait, what? I don't know. Hospital de Orlando. I don't know what this is. I can't translate it. So I don't know what it is. Orlando hospital denies that Bolsonaro is there. Okay, got it.